and violence, sex 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 and violence.
Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised. I put out a video in March called Mormon Molester, and I actually lost some Patreon support because of this video, but it's okay. Because it turns out, there was more to the story.
Hi, my name is Sterling Van Wagenen. I was the founding executive director of the Sundance Institute and the co-founder of the Sundance Film Festival. I'm also a producer and director.
And he's also an admitted child molester. LDS Temple video director, Sundance co-founder, admits to child molestation, claims website. February 4th, 2019. A story published Monday by the Truth and Transparency Foundation, a website founded by two ex-Mormons who also founded Mormon Leaks, claims a co-founder of the Sundance Film Festival and director of two videos used in the secretive LDS Temple endowment ceremony admits to molesting a child in the early 1990s. The abuse allegations are against Sterling Van Wagenen, a BYU grad, co-founder of the Sundance Film Festival with Robert Redford, director of the Academy Award-winning film The Trip to Bountiful, and the man who was hired by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to direct new videos for the LDS Temple endowment ceremony in 2013. The website posted an audio recording allegedly of Sterling Van Wagenen admitting to the abuse. In an audio recording obtained by the Truth and Transparency Foundation, Van Wagenen describes a double life he lived for decades. I'm just going to call him VW. The website's article on VW said, when asked if he was a pedophile, VW denies that label, but admits to multiple extramarital affairs with both men and women. He also admits to one single instance of sex abuse perpetrated on a minor. The article, written by TTF founder Ryan McKnight, cites the story of, quote, David, not his real name, who describes that while at a sleepover with a friend at VW's home in 1993, he woke up to VW's hand down his pants and rubbing his penis. He jumped up and ran to the bathroom, McKnight says in the TTF story. He was scared and did not know what to do. He spent the rest of the night locked in the bathroom and the next 26 years traumatized by the events of that evening. While VW made a full confession of the crime to both his religious leader and the police, he never completely faced justice, McKnight says in the story. The audio recording was made by, quote, David, who reached out to VW in September 2018 to help get closure on the traumatic event. The two met in person. David recorded the conversation he has with Sterling VW.
I've always struggled with depression. I've had a problem with depression since I was in elementary school. I didn't know what it was then. And so, I've tried a lot of different ways to stop the pain of the depression. And that night I was acting out sexually, and that's what was going on with me, because the pain was just so great. I was just trying to find a way to make a connection, a way to stop the pain. And you were the victim. I'm so sorry for that.
Can I ask you a question? So that night, when you were doing that, I was almost certain that you were doing the same to your own kid on the other couch.
Yeah, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. In fact, again, I don't know if this tells, but this is the only time in my life I have ever done this. That you were concerned that maybe there was a pattern of this abuse that had gone on with my own kids or grandkids or with other people, and it's the only time that's happened.
The TTF obtained these police reports. In the report, Detective Steve Jentz, I don't know, is the SCH silent? Of the SLC Sheriff's Office reported contacting David's father, who stated he did not, quote, want to talk about what happened, and that he was supportive of Mr. VW in working out this problem. Jentz concluded that the, quote, victim refused to pursue the complaint. The case was subsequently closed, and VW was never charged. David claims molestation did not happen over his clothing, and says it was not a pat on his penis, but rather a stroking motion. He also says he was unaware the police even contacted his parents. Police reports showed David was 13 when the alleged abuse happened. David tells the TTF that he was never contacted by Harold Brown or anyone else from the Mormon Church to check on his well-being. No therapy or other assistance was ever offered to him. He described in the recording this trauma has greatly affected his life, and he has never fully recovered from what happened. VW provided the TTF with the following comment. I went through the church disciplinary process and was disfellowshipped for about 2 years. I repented and there were no further incidents. I reported the abuse to the police, as I was instructed to by my stakeholder, and the parents elected not to press charges. About a month after I made that video, this comes out. Page 6. Sundance Film Festival co-founder charged with sex abuse. April 11th, 2019. Salt Lake City. A Utah filmmaker who co-founded the Sundance Film Festival and produced an Oscar-winning movie in the mid-1980s has been charged with sexual abuse of a young girl. Sterling Van Wagenen, 71, is accused of inappropriately touching a girl on 2 occasions between 2013 and 2015, according to a probable cause statement filed with the charges on April 4th. The alleged abuse occurred in 2 northern Utah cities when the girl was between the ages of 7 and 9, online court records show. Van Wagenen's attorney, Stephen Shapiro, declined to comment. Van Wagenen didn't return an email and phone call. He has not yet entered a plea to 1-count felony sexual abuse of a child. Van Wagenen co-founded a Utah film festival that came to be known as Sundance Film Festival with Robert Redford. His affiliation with the organization ended in 1993 when he left the advisory board. Van Wagenen, who posted a $75,000 bail, is scheduled to be in court on May 2nd, that's today, for a scheduled hearing. The case was reported to police by Child Protective Services after the girl told her parents about the alleged abuse. Van Wagenen resigned from his part-time instructor position at the University of Utah's Film and Media Arts Department on February 15th after being put on administrative leave on February 5th. University spokesman Chris Nelson said. He said the university can't provide any more details other than he had worked at the university since October of 2012. Van Wagenen's resignation came after a man came forward to accuse Van Wagenen of molesting him as a boy in 1993. No charges have been filed in that case, which was made public by a website that serves as a watchdog for the Mormon Church. Van Wagenen also periodically worked for the church as a producer and director for many years on a variety of projects. Church spokesman Eric Hawkins said, the church wasn't aware of any of Van Wagenen's alleged behaviors until recently and reported them to authorities, Hawkins said. And that's a lie. They knew about it back in the 90s. He declined to say if Van Wagenen has been kicked out of the faith, citing church policy to keep personal matters private. The church considers child abuse to be among the most serious sins, and that anyone who commits the act should be held accountable, Hawkins said. And a couple weeks later, he pleads guilty. And from April 30th, 2019, Sundance Film Festival co-founder pleads guilty to child sex abuse. A Utah filmmaker who co-founded the Sundance Film Festival and produced an Oscar-winning movie in the mid-80s has pleaded guilty to sexual abuse of a child. Van Wagenen entered the plea Tuesday during a court hearing in American Fork, Utah, south of Salt Lake City. Van Wagenen's attorney, Stephen Shapiro, said that his client wanted to acknowledge wrongful conduct. Prosecutors charged Van Wagenen earlier this month on accusations that he inappropriately touched a young girl on 2 occasions between 2013 and 2015. And then today, he pleads guilty again. Latter-day Saint filmmaker Sterling Van Wagenen pleads guilty to child sex abuse in a second courtroom. And this was published today. The Latter-day Saint filmmaker, who has already pleaded guilty to 1 count of sexual abuse, entered another guilty plea Thursday in West Jordan. It was the second half of a deal with prosecutors in 2 counties that is expected to send Van Wagenen to prison for 6 years to life. 3rd District Judge scheduled sentencing for July 9th, 1 week after Van Wagenen is to be sentenced in an American Fork courtroom. Van Wagenen, 71, entered a guilty plea there on Tuesday. Like on Thursday, Van Wagenen admitted to a count of aggravated sexual abuse of a child, a first-degree felony. So he's being sentenced in July, looking at 6 years to life. My dogs don't like him. That's a sign right there. And people bitching about what shirts I wear, I don't have many. I got some fucking duct tape on it. Fucking stoned. I got a motherfucking spaceship. Oh, fuck. Oh,